A very good afternoon. It's 1 p.m. here in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, and you are just in time for The Ambassador, where we debunk global diplomacy and geopolitics. I am your ambassador, Susan Nganga. We start off with some great news from Kenya, where Kenya has officially climbed to the 6th spot among Africa's largest economy. This is according to the latest projections by the International Monetary Fund. With a projected GDP of over $131 billion, Kenya now surpasses Ethiopia to become the leading economy in East Africa. It was a moment of recognition and reassurance at State House, Nairobi. President William Ruto met with Kenyan artists, and he had one clear message: the creative economy matters. Acknowledging Kenya's rising status on the African continent, the president applauded the achievements of the country's creative sector, saying they play a key role in shaping national identity and boosting the country's global image.
IMF imetangaza, sio William Ruto, IMF imetangaza ya kwamba Kenya has moved from being number 8 largest economy in Africa, it has moved to number 6. We are now the 6th largest economy in Africa. Just in 2 years, we have overtaken Angola and we have overtaken Ethiopia.
He also reaffirmed the government's commitment to ensuring creatives are not just celebrated, but also compensated. And the bigger picture, Kenya's economy is on an impressive upward trajectory. In 2024, the Kenyan shilling appreciated by a staggering 21%, making it the best performing currency in the world that year. Backing that strength, diaspora remittances hit a record high, $4.94 billion, bolstering foreign exchange reserves and stabilizing the shilling. In early 2025, Kenya successfully raised $1.5 billion through a Eurobond, further boosting investor confidence. Now, Kenya has climbed the ranks, becoming the 6th largest economy in Africa, up from 8th place in 2022. It has officially overtaken Ethiopia, making Kenya the largest economy in East Africa by GDP. As the president put it, the nation's identity is not just in numbers, but in its culture, creativity, and the people behind it. Susan Nganga, GBS News, Nairobi. A step in the right direction indeed. Now we shift the focus to Tunisia, where a land convoy from Tunisia left on Monday, traveling thousands of kilometers across North Africa to raise international awareness over Gaza war and delivering life-saving aid in the hopes of breaking Israel's 18-year siege on the war-battered Palestinian enclave. Thousands of volunteers from Algeria, Egypt, Libya, Morocco, and Tunisia left the Tunisian capital in a 100-vehicle convoy to raise international awareness of the humanitarian crisis in Gaza and deliver life-saving aid, as Davis Karani now reports.
The participants in the convoy on Monday started their journey to the Ras Jdi, crossing on the Tunisian-Libyan border and traveled along the Libyan coastal road to Cairo, then to the Rafah, crossing on the Egyptian-Palestinian border to deliver a message of solidarity and aid to the Palestinians in Gaza.
Coming here is an initiative from the Nabil Club, and our goal is to gather other running clubs that answered the call, such as Star Club and Zara and others. This is a noble initiative to raise youth awareness and to say that we are conscious youth and that we deliver our message in a noble way. And may God help our brothers in Gaza.
It remains unclear, however, whether the convoy will actually reach the besieged Gaza Strip, as Egyptian officials have yet to authorize the convoy's entry into Sinai.
This convoy of steadfastness, like that ship, is a message of challenge and will, and this is what the extremist right-wing government of Israel fears.
Since October 2023, over 54,000 Palestinians have been killed by the Israeli forces, according to the Palestinian health and government officials, including more than 28,000 women and girls. Davis Karani, GBS News.
A stellar report from Davis Karani. Now we head to East Africa, where Uganda marked its 36th Heroes Day anniversary, where President Yoweri Museveni pledged a continuous compensation to the people who offered support to his 5-year National Liberation Army liberation struggle. His remarks at the Luero Triangle comes after persistent complaints from the families that offered materialistic support and human resource but have never been compensated, contrary to his promise after the war. The anniversary took place in Liatonde district under the theme, The Legacy and Ideals of Our Heroes. President Museveni, alongside Uganda's First Lady Janet Museveni, paid respect to the fallen soldiers.
The president will be followed by the deputy CDF, who is representing the CDF.
I called your leaders in Kyankwanzi. I think it was 2008 there.
Mu mwaka gwa 2008 president yaita abakulembeze e Kyankwanzi.
There were like 800 of them.
Bala abakulembeze nga 800.
I said,
era abagamba,
we are going to give Akasimu a thank you, the supporter 1 million.
Abawagizi abatuwagira million emu.
The leaders 5 million.
Abatukulembera nga bakulembera abakulembeze abatuyambangako nabo nga tubawa million 5.
Only time will tell. Now the ambassador will take a short break. We'll be right back with even more as we debunk global diplomacy and geopolitics. Stay.
Young people who create, influence, and inspire. So,
on an honest note, creating is hard work, and there are people who I see their work and they are constantly pushing themselves.
okay.
Like, wanajipush, kujipush, like they are putting creativity up top over there.
I think no one also prepares you for the fact that the better you become.
The networking is also very good. You see, there are people who have passion for, you know, videography, creating videos, editing. There are people passionate about that. If you are someone who talks and you meet people and you love people, you'll definitely meet someone who's just waiting to shoot you.
But also in terms of what I put out, it goes back to what are your values? What are your values? What are your beliefs? So as much as this is trending, yes, that is trending. Does it align with your values? Does it align with your beliefs?
You can be a star without the star position. Si lazima ukue hapo mbele ya watu. Si lazima wewe ndo ukue star, ndo ukue star. Hata ukiwa hapa chini, wewe bado ni star. And as she has said, discipline is a big thing.
Yeah, because we are here to entertain and educate at the same time. So the question of the day, have you ever benefited from any youth-led initiative?
What pushed me to get into the ground, one, was born HIV positive, by the way. So when I was born HIV positive, I felt like the society and the youth need to be educated much on about the HIV and HIV management.
Someone was confessing and alikuwa anasema like yeye ako HIV positive, ni student, but yeye badala ya ajue venye atasaidia wengine, yana try venye atasambaza.
Unajua pia kitu kingine yenye natusumbua sisi mayouth ni kiburi. You don't want to learn. Unaona?
Yeah.
Be there to learn. My youth are doing things that they are not supposed to do. Kwa sababu anataka kitu yenye iko beyond yeye. Iko beyond haezi afford. Unaona? Manze mimi nataka kubamba wase kuchafua meza, kukuwa na dem sijui mwenye anakaaje. Ndio at least like mimi nimeweza. Manze mimi hiyo ya kuweza, acha tuweze ki mindset. Na pia uset goals. Kama una goals manze kwa hii life sijui penye. Ni kama tu yani you should live with a purpose, not in purpose. Unajua most of us are living in purpose whereby yani wewe uko tu manze. Hata unataka kukatia dema na kuambia habari yako mzuri. Unadoingi nini ati mimi niko tu. What is mimi niko?
Everywhere GBS. Welcome back to the bulletin. Now we move forward to the United States, where Service Employees International Union and United Service Workers West California President David spoke to supporters and members of the media after being released on a $50,000 bond from federal custody after his arrest last week and subsequently being arraigned on federal felony charges for an impending offices. And this is what he had to say.
So I just wanted to say that when we're here, there's protests outside. That means in there, they're in lockdown right now. They're in lockdown. They cannot come out of their cells. Not even to eat. They cannot come out.
Who's they?
The detainees. They cannot come out. So while this is happening, they cannot come out. There's also the risk, they also cannot see their lawyers. And to a certain extent, they cannot also do court hearings that are so important. Because had I not had my court hearing today, I now would be standing here today. We will have our time for justice, but we must do it in a way that we demonstrate the power of working people across this country and stand united. I just want to tell my members of the USWW that I hope, I don't know if the right word is forgiveness, that it was not my intention to be arrested. But I hope that I have not put them in harm's way.
Still on the United States, as demonstrations continue in Los Angeles over recent immigration enforcement actions, the White House has increased military presence in the city, sending additional National Guard troops and Marines. Meanwhile, Californian officials are challenging the move in court, raising questions about jurisdiction and state-federal authority. Here is more on the same.
We're going to send 700 Marines from 29 Palms to LA. How do you feel about that?
Los Angeles is at the center of a growing national storm as President Donald Trump doubles the number of National Guard troops and sends 700 Marines to the city in response to ongoing protests against immigration and custom enforcement raids. The demonstrations, which erupted last Saturday, were sparked by large-scale federal immigration raids aimed at deporting undocumented immigrants, igniting widespread outrage and civil unrest.
To the state of California and bring in the Marines. How do you feel about that? Is that just?
The violence that we're seeing, this violence that I've seen is disgusting. We have adapted our tactics to be able to have a chance to be able to take these people into custody and to be able to hold them accountable. We are overwhelmed.
Trump is, he's trying to characterize us as rioters and looters when really we're all out here with signs just trying to say this is wrong and this is our community.
It's a little bittersweet. We hate to see this abundance of police force being used on something that should be peaceful, but you love to see the unity of the community.
The federal government initially deployed 2,000 National Guard members to suppress the protest, but tensions have continued to rise, prompting an additional deployment of 2,000 more guards and 700 Marines. Protesters have filled the streets of Los Angeles daily, decrying what they call criminalization of immigrant communities. The move has drawn sharp criticism from local leaders and right groups who argue the show of force is excessive and inflammatory.
Any of that in our city right now. Our city is trying to heal. Our city is trying to rebuild. Our city does not need to be torn apart with a provocative measure from the federal government.
In a bold move, California has filed a lawsuit against the federal government, claiming the deployments violate the state's sovereignty and are unconstitutional. With political, legal, and social tensions escalating, Los Angeles remains on high alert as both sides brace could become a standoff between federal authority and state resistance.
Moving forward to the royal family, King Charles III of England on Monday received a warm welcome at the Lancaster Castle as he attended a ceremony for the keys in honor of the Second World War veterans. The British monarch as well met with local businesses representatives.
King Charles III of England received a huge applause as he arrived at the Lancaster Castle for the Royal Keys ceremony in honor of the Second World War veterans, a tradition that dates back to the year 1851. His Majesty was greeted by a cheering crowd as he entered the castle, where he unveiled a plate. He took part in the century-old ceremony of keys, meeting with the Second World War veterans, including the 99-year-old veteran Richard Brooke, who served in the D-Day landing with the East Lancashire Regiment.
I don't believe you did it. Yes, right. We're amazing. Yes, definitely. Because there were so few. That's right. Just none resisted. Really? So are you now in Lancaster? Yes. Just 9 of you? Yeah, over in Normandy this time. Yes. A couple of days ago. It was a couple of days ago. But we were there last year. Yes, I was. You were there? Yes, sir. At that.
The British monarch met with local business representatives besides attending a reception with a wide range of community organizations during the visit. This is a tradition that the visiting monarchs have participated in when they visit the castle since the year 1851, when keys were first presented to Queen Victoria. Victor Ujung, the ambassador.
Thank you, Victor, for that report. Now on to sports news. Wydad Casablanca, the pride of Morocco and 2022 CAF Champions League champions, are preparing for the biggest test in club football, the expanded FIFA Club World Cup in the United States. With European giants Manchester City, Italian powerhouse Juventus, and UAE's Al Ain in their group, Wydad face a mountain to climb. Take a look.
Wydad Casablanca are putting the final touches on their preparations for the inaugural expanded FIFA World Cup in the United States. As 2022 CAF Champions League winners, they will represent Africa in Group G, facing a star-studded lineup that includes Manchester City, Al Ain, and Italian giants Juventus. Their recent form has been mixed, with narrow friendly losses to Sevilla and FC Porto, followed by a 2-1 win over Stade Moroccan in the Excellence Cup. Under new coach Mohamed Amin, the team is showing signs of progress and renewed confidence. They kick off their campaign on June 18th at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia against Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. It's a huge test, but the Red Castle are ready to stand tall on the world stage as they not only represent Morocco, but also Africa at large. Elvin Muyodi, GPS Sports.
Elvis Muyodi's report concludes our bulletin today. Thank you for staying with us here at The Ambassador as we uncover the latest development. We'll continue to bring you updates on these stories and more as they develop. My name is Susan Nganga. Have a good afternoon.
Everywhere, GB.